as ISIS is rampaging across Iraq and Syria, the emir of Mosul had some interesting things to say about their grand plans. This is nothing. We're just at the beginning. Up until now, we've used just a small part of the forces that we have at our disposition. You cannot imagine how strong we really are. We have immense power. You'll be amazed. You won't be able to defeat us. And he goes on. We've never feared the Americans, not even in the past when they were in a weaker position. Why on earth do you think we would fear them now? We've beaten them before and we'll beat them again. Allah curse the Americans and their allies. They will come to a very bad end. So I think a lot of this is probably just posturing and all this stuff. But do we have to take any of this seriously?
Now, is this part of that, Ralph Harris, the famous atheist, says that, it takes religion to make men do things that are horrible like this, right? To cut someone's head off, to kill 40,000 people. So would you say this is is this religion, or is this, what would you say? I would say that this is, again, one part of the bad parts of religion, right?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think it's probably 75% religion, 25% of our policies that propped up awful people to repress their own people, and this is what you get.
Yeah, I don't know. The only issue to me, the only relevant question is, what do we do now?
Yeah.
And, if these guys, we saw there that it was, we know they didn't have a lot of, I'm just going to leave the hair like that. We're just going to,
no, that's nice,
we're just going to call it sexy.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't fix it. All right, for some reason it's not happening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, baby. So like, if there's 700 of these guys, or 1,700, or 2,700, we should bomb the living shit out of them, especially if they're in the open. We're not. This is not Gaza. This is not a densely populated city where kids and women and children live and innocent men. So strike while you can, because maybe that will do the trick. If they're stronger than that, then we're just going to have to deal with them. I don't think any of us want to go fight a war against them and send in American troops and send in 75,000 American troops to fight these guys there, because they'll win. In the long run, they'll win, and they'll find it easier. They live there. They live there, and we want to go home. So you hope that you can build a political, diplomatic coalition of Arab neighbors and friends and allies who will help you to politically isolate these guys. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah.
But as long as there are two civil wars raging, that's very hard to do.
Right. So that just doesn't exist, though, right?
Well, it doesn't seem to be, right? Unless you really have oil companies wanting it to happen. Remember when George Bush went crazy trying to get the coalition of the willing? Hey, we've got 36 countries with it, but that wasn't a real coalition. So we need to put together a real coalition, like a real UN again. I mean, that's what really needs to happen. You need to have a bunch of countries and they're fighting against them. But this is the world against them.
Yeah, it seems to me that that's gone. Like this thing with the Yazidis on the mountain.
Yeah.
If everyone knew there were 40,000 people sitting up there starving to death. They were surrounding the mountain, ISIS, and everyone was saying, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And it's like, well, obviously only the United States was going to do it. So this is like our curse, right? This is now our curse.
Well, why wouldn't Saudi Arabia do something? Why wouldn't another country step in?
I just don't think they care. I think everyone thinks the U.S. will come in and clean up the mess. But it's becoming a problem on the streets of Europe. We've got an interesting image out of Holland. These are ISIS flags being flown in Holland. So what are these? This is happening now. There have been ISIS flags in London. They've been in Paris. Like, what is happening here? And Europe has this major immigration problem, especially France, because they've let in a lot of people that didn't get integrated in society properly. What are you supposed to do? I mean, we don't have it here in America. I saw there was one in New Jersey, actually.
Is that right?
There was one guy in New
Honestly,
Jersey.
Honestly, you remember after 9/11, the football player from the Phoenix Cardinals, I forget his name now, Tillman.
Yeah.
Pat Tillman, he was up, he got so worked up, and he went and he volunteered because he wanted to go kill some Al Qaeda for America.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about these ISIS guys, and they really haven't even done anything to us yet. I swear to God, I'm walking my dog. I'm like, if I had a gun, I would join. I would go over there and start shooting some MFers.
Yeah. So what do you make though? What are the Europeans supposed to do? This stuff, it seems like it's growing there now. They're not beheading yet, but the flags. It's like who in their right mind lives in a Western country and is somehow backing that?
I guess,
Be more involved with me, because I'm not getting it.
Well, clearly you have to be a serious practicing Muslim to begin with, right? So,
or at least say you are.
And to some extent, somewhat fundamentalist. The difference, the thing that we can't do is look at people in Holland with a flag who are saying, look at the guys who have been, in their mind perhaps, pushed around forever, right? And now are standing up and are winning. We never win. And here we are in this stage winning because the West has already left. And what we can't do is presume that these guys holding the flags well, we have to be wary of it, but we can't presume these guys holding the flags are ready to take up arms in any way. Most of these people are going to go back home and cook dinner and go to their jobs in the next morning. But they like the fact that they're winning.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm not. Wow. Even Jimmy, always against war at
I'm
all
all for
costs.
free speech and everything, but to me, it's like the same thing if you carry around a KKK or swastikas. It's like this is only about hate and killing. It's the most heinous thing. We are terrorism. We're the embodiment of it. We're trying to scare the shit out of the world. So it's like you want to scare the shit out of me. Well, how about if I try to scare the shit out of you back because we can?
Well, I think partly they're empowered because I think they think that Europe's just going to do nothing.
So, it's going to come down to what do they do if they are able to succeed? Because at some point, the only way they're going to keep anyone in any of those places happy, and by the way, they're going to kill, mostly who they kill, of course, are Muslims. Like at some point, that's going to bother.
That's what I'm saying.
That's going to
Pretty much
bother
everyone
else, right? So, but again, it depends on whether you're Sunni or Shia. But at some point, they're going to have to open a school, and they're going to have to run water to people, and they're going to have to provide basic services.
Yes.
And they have to prove that they can do that. Right now, they've just hired a bunch of thugs to go cut people's heads off. I don't know that video is going to scare us of the severed head. I suspect that as we see more of that, it will also scare plenty of people.
Well, it's an easy transition from head severing to roads and transportation.
It is.